So we are back, and I am really excited. We've been waiting for this interview for a long time, and I'm just going to pot him up. We have Jackie, the joke man, Martling on the phone. Jackie, can you hear me?
Yeah, not very well, but I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. I can hear a little louder. How's that? Is that better?
A little bit better.
I can hear you perfectly, and you're more important than I am. You are here with me and Danny. Welcome to homegrownradionj.org, and thank you so much for coming on the air with us today.
It's my pleasure. You know, you're only helping me, so you're helping me help myself, so I appreciate that. I've been on the phone for weeks and weeks and doing TV and radio and everything to promote my book and my appearances, and my book is getting an amazing response, so I'm very excited to talk to everybody.
Well, you're helping us too, Jackie, because we love interviews like this. This is exciting for us to talk to someone of your caliber and your career. So again, thank you for joining us on the air.
And
no problem.
And we had talked about, how you are a pioneer of comedy. You've been doing this for a long time. So when did this start for you? When did you realize that writing and acting, when did you find that this was what you were meant to do?
I stumbled into it.
Okay.
That's why I can't wait for everybody to get this book, because nobody has any idea. I was a rock and roll musician. I wasn't very good, but I played rock and roll right up till I was 31 years old, and realized that I wasn't going to make any money at it. My whole life I had been telling jokes and accumulating jokes, and I knew I wasn't going to get a regular job, so I just started telling my dirty jokes on stage. I'd always done it, but not as a mainstay.
Right.
And then instead of playing guitar and telling jokes, I started telling jokes and playing guitar, kind of making the jokes the main focus. And it worked, starting at age 31, and we created the comedy scene on Long Island out of nothing. And it just burgeoned like crazy and became the comedy boom of the 80s. And I made 3 albums and sent them to Howard Stern, and he liked them, and we wound up on Pluto. I had no intentions of being a comedian, and I had no intentions of being on the radio. But somehow it worked.
I should say so. And what I love about you two is that when I mentioned that we had this interview coming up, there is not one person that I mentioned this to who didn't know who you were. And like I said, my 75-year-old father, an 18-year-old student is like, oh yeah, so you have found a way to, like you said, make this like your living. And what a great living to have. I mean, because you're enjoying yourself.
Well, you know what? I've been saying forever that jokes are just universal. Not to sound hokey, but I like people, and I've always liked people, and I've always really enjoyed making people laugh. I never had any intentions of being a comedian, but I've been telling jokes to strangers and people in delicatessens and people on elevators and people from the stage my entire life, and it has never not made me feel good to make people laugh, and that is so universal. And plus, the jokes I tell to people are jokes that they can turn around and tell to their friends. So I'm kind of like the Johnny Appleseed of jokes. And, guys like me, and then they grow up, and then they tell their fathers, and they tell their sons. I have, multi-generational people coming to my shows. I've had people been there with their sons and their fathers, like 3 generations of people, not just fathers, mothers and daughters. Because jokes are so fun, and especially in this day and age, just a goofy, fun, ridiculous joke about poop or sex or marriage is just, it's so important, So people are gravitating to me more than ever. Now, with Sirius XM and Spotify and Pandora, people put my name in. They say they drive cross-country, just listen to jokes the entire time,
And it's true. It's a universal language. And you do the joke a day.
Yeah, I was actually looking at your Twitter, and every day at 4:20 you do the joke of the day.
Yeah, I load it up all the time. It's at Jackie Martling. Anybody that's listening, it's at Jackie Martling, just like it sounds. And every day at 4:20 p.m. International Marijuana Time, I load in a few jokes, and it's always a good time,
Absolutely.
Now, looking at your bio, it mentions that you have a degree in mechanical engineering. How did that come about?
Yeah, speaking of which, I tell everybody that I graduated from Michigan State University in 1971 as a mechanical engineer, and I used my diploma to roll pot. You know, I just have been telling jokes my entire life. I loved them. My father had gone to school as an engineer, and I knew I needed a difficult major or else I'd drink myself out of school.
Right.
So I signed up for mechanical engineering. It took me 5 years.
Wow.
And another 2 years to get out of that town. But sure as hell, I'm a mechanical engineer with a good average. And, you know, I was pretty smart, but I also knew I was no way I was going to get a straight job. And I just kept playing rock and roll through the 70s. And, you know, we got drunk and smoked pot and had a lot of fun with a lot of girls and just were crazy. And then at the end of the 70s, I realized, man, if I ever want to have a house or a wife or a life, I better abandon this. And so I went into something nice and stable like comedy. Listen, I'm crazy. I know, believe me, I know how lucky I've been. People tell me I'm crazy for leaving the Stern Show, but it was really, really, I'm an old hippie, and I'm a firm believer in enjoying your life and having a good time. And, you know, I was a multimillionaire and I was miserable. I was just tired all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, quality of life comes in. So, you know, I explain everything in my book. You know, all the questions that people might have for, you know, how did you wind up on the Howard Stern Show, and why did you leave, and how much money did you turn down? All that stuff is answered. So, you know, it's really good to have it out there. I feel like, you know, it's something I really had to do, you know, because everybody wants to know. And that sounds pompous. There's a lot of people who want to know.
No, they do want to know. I definitely
know.
People do want to know. And where can they find your book? So they can go click on it right now, right? It's online?
Yeah, if you go to Jackie the Joke Man, spelled as one word, JackieTheJokeman.com, and click on it, the Amazon page pops right up. And it's going to ship on October 24th, which is in a couple of weeks. And it's available in hardcover and Kindle and audiobook. And the foreword is by Artie Lang, and he also recorded the foreword for the audiobook. So it's him introducing the book, and then it's me, you know, I thought it would be such a drag to sit there and read my book. And I got to tell you, I went to Audible in Newark and just had the greatest time sitting there reading my stupid book. And the engineers and the executives there said, out of all the authors that have read their own autobiography, it was one of the most entertaining and funny and captivating. They said that they really think it's going to go through the roof. So, you know, I'm feeling really good about it. You know, I got a whole second life. You know, there's generations of people discovering me and my stupid jokes, you know?
And you know what? You're going to go down in history. Like, you know, you think of all these, like, Milton Berle, all these comedians. That's definitely going to be you. People are going to know your name generations and generations after. And I love how you brought up how comedy is important, especially in this climate that we're living in. Because I think people are afraid to laugh. But when you have a comedian like you that's talking about real life and you could show a different side to it, it's okay to laugh at things that are going on. I think that's what I love about your humor, and you keep it very real.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter if the world's blowing up or if this world's on fire or there's floods. You know, if you're laughing about a situation between a man and a woman and the frailties of marriage, you know, that's so universal. You could step outside the other problems and just put it into that little cone and just laugh at the absurdity and you know, take a little respite from the rest of the craziness, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so talk about what's your comedy show like? You know, a lot of comedians...
My comedy show has been the same for 40 years. I go up there and just rapid fire, crazy jokes, faster than you can handle them, and they start off a little crazy, and it gets a little wilder and a little wilder and a little naughtier, and it gets, you know, it gets gradually, it jumps around, but for the most part it gets bluer as I work my way to the end. And then at the end of the hour I play Stump the Joke Man, and people try and tell me a joke that I haven't heard, and they try to win a t-shirt, and it's just in general a free-for-all. And then I just hang out afterwards, you know, and sign autographs and take pictures and sell my stuff, and I enjoy that as much as the show, you know, because, you know, there's people that come up, you know, I've had this Dial-A-Joke since 1979. I started a Dial-A-Joke to help us promote the comedy shows we were doing on Long Island, and it's been going continuously for 38 years.
Wow.
So people come up and say, hey, I used to call your joke line 20 years ago. And I say, yeah, well, take out your cell phone and dial 516-922-9463. And they say, you're kidding. And they dial it, and there it is, the exact same as it was in 1979, and they just can't believe it. And there were points in the late 80s where my dial-a-joke was getting between 5,000 and 10,000 calls a day.
Wow.
I mean, it was crazy.
Wow.
And that whole thing's explained in the book, too, how dial-a-joke came about. And I actually got named the Joke Man by Rick Dees in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
That flips everybody out, too,
Yeah, I was going to ask you how, which I did, I fixed it on social media today for you, Jackie, but I was curious to know, who gave you that name? Because that's how.
Well, you know what? I started my dial-a-joke, and as the world started to change in 1979, all of a sudden there was HBO, and everything got a little bit looser. I started making 9221. It's actually called Use Your Finger. That's the name of my joke line.
Yeah.
It's called Use Your Finger, and I made it dirtier and dirtier. And one day Rick Dees called up and said, listen, I've been using your jokes on my radio show here in Los Angeles and on my nationally syndicated show, but now it's too dirty. Can you do some jokes specifically for me that are cleaner? And I said, sure. So he paid me a few dollars, and he said, you know what I'll do? I'll call you Jackie the Joke Man, the guy from New York with all the jokes. And I'm like, well, that certainly suits me.
Yeah.
But at some point, Rick Dees was telling he was the top morning guy in Los Angeles, and he was telling his listeners, hey, I got Tom Selleck's home phone number. And he'd tell them 516-922-9463. And the machines would blow up. People, it was just such a ruse. It was so great. So I owe him. That was really good for me,
Yeah, the name stuck for sure.
That's a funny little piece of trivia, But the whole journey of how I wound up making my comedy albums and how they got to Howard Stern and how I bumped into Rodney Dangerfield, just the way I created, people say, well, Jackie's so lucky. But if you read my book, you'll see how, luck favors the prepared. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
If you put yourself in enough places, you're going to bang into something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, do you still talk to Howard? Like, is there still?
No, we email a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to my book. I mean, the book is not trashy in any way. They're already writing up on the web like how Jackie did a big wild expose, a tell-all book, but it isn't even a little bit. Nobody's seen the book yet. It of course, is not that. It's the great thing about the book is there's so many people that are fans of the show that, listened in the 80s, listened in the 90s, and people came and went. But there was a long time when people were glued to that show. And when you read my book, it's in chronological order, so people are going to go, hey, I remember where I was when they were in Philadelphia. Hey, I remember where I was when that pay-per-view happened. Hey, I remember where I was when the Stern movie came out. So it's like a timeline of everybody's life, and it'll kind of be a walk down memory lane for everybody. So it's like a jumping off thing, and it's nothing that nobody doesn't know.
Right.
But it's all from my point of view. So hopefully it's a little funny and a little, little snide and goofy, and my journey to the show is it's so weird. And I know people are going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, how long has it, how long did it take you to write this book?
Well, I've been writing it forever.
Okay.
I started writing a book way back in the early 90s, and then I started writing stories, and then the internet happened, and there were so many great stories from the Stern Show that I used to tell on the air. I started typing up my stories and putting them on my website, and then I almost got a deal and fell through, and then and each time I almost got a deal, I wrote a bunch more stories. So I finally got a deal. So what it is, it's an entire book of modular stories. The stories are like 2 pages, 5 pages, 8 pages, but they're chronological order. So you can read a story, and then you can pick up the book. You can literally open to any place in the book and just start reading because each story is self-contained,
Oh,
And I have a whole second book in my computer ready to go.
Wow.
So if everybody likes it and they want a second book, I mean, it's literally ready to print. because I only can fit so much stuff in 300 pages. I've had, had a pretty wacky life. I got a few stories to tell. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we have time.
Right.
So, how do you feel about the internet? So, you were talking about, when you first got into, Howard, that was radio, right? It was terrestrial radio. You had to, put on, either in your car, wherever you were. Now, everything's at the touch of our fingertips. For you, has that been a boost for you, having the internet and everything to click away?
You're talking to a guy who, we used to fold things up and send out mailers.
I know. It's crazy.
And mail all our albums and mail cassettes. And the whole concept of the internet and computers is it's just so mind-boggling. Like, my first 3 comedy albums and my first 2 CDs in the early 90s, they were recorded on tape and transferred to reel-to-reel, and then quarter-inch reel-to-reel tape, and editing it with a razor blade with tape, and it was a painstaking, incredible process. But that's how you did it. And then all of a sudden, here's a computer, and you could do it with a mouse and back up 8 times, your mistakes, and it was almost. I almost couldn't handle how much easier it got. And same with the click of sending an email as opposed to folding up a letter and putting a stamp, and the mode of communication just was incredible. I was the first one on the show that attacked the web and everything, and they made fun of me. People don't remember, because I used to get, I got plugs every day. That was part of my deal.
Right.
Jackie's at Rascals tonight,
right.
Or Jackie's at the Darris Theater, this Saturday night at 8 p.m. And Howard would read that stuff. And when I got on the web, it was so foreign. He'd say, and if you want to see Jackie's website, he's like, what is this? I said, just read it. And he'd go, http://www.starlight.com/jokeland. And by the time he read it, everybody's asleep. And they would make fun of me, like, what is this? And I'm trying to say, hey, this is the new wave. This is where the world's going. And of course, they broke my chops. And then, 6 months later, the entire world's on the web. I'm not Al Gore. I'm not saying I invented it. I'm just saying, in the beginning, it was to everybody. The whole concept of the HTTP and all. None of us had any idea what the hell that stood for.
That's true.
And now you're on the radio. You're on internet radio doing an interview.
I know.
So
it's
Jackie,
nutty, right?
Yes.
So I'm actually on your website, jokeland.com, and it has all of your upcoming shows. So in addition to this Saturday at 8 p.m. at the Darris Theater here in Boonton, New Jersey, you're also going to be at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. You also have a show coming up in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Plus, you have a ton of book signings. So I do want to mention.
Yeah, the book signings are on my website too. If you go to Jokeland and just go to book-signings, and they're really going to be fun because I love the people come out and take pictures and we sign and it's a hoot.
I'm gonna have to go to one of those book
signings.
signings.
Actually going to be in Ridgewood.
We'll have to go.
Is really cool.
Now where are you guys near Ridgewood? Where are you in relation to Berlin, New Jersey? Do you know where that is?
Berlin, we're actually up north. We're further up north. So we're actually.
Well, you got to come out to the one of the signs. There's a whole bunch of people coming to the Ridgewood sign.
Yeah, actually,
Ridgewood is the one where.
Ridgewood will go. I'm actually going to a red carpet thing in Ridgewood tonight. Ridgewood is close to me, so I will come to the Ridgewood. But I'm coming on Saturday to the Darris, and I definitely want to make sure I get to meet you.
I look forward to that. You got to tell all your friends to buy a book. I keep telling people the same thing, that they make the perfect holiday gift, especially if I sign it or something.
Absolutely.
There's nothing easier to wrap than a book. And if you got a friend that's a Howard Stern fan, there it is. You got their Christmas thing. You know how much fun it is when you can figure out what to get somebody for Christmas and take that off your list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're releasing it actually at a perfect time.
Right.
This is really the perfect time because people are starting to think of holidays. And everyone's, at least on my social media, everyone's always looking for books to read.
Sure.
So I'm definitely going to grab it.
Well, tell everybody you know.
I definitely
hold
will.
Hold them down and smack them over the head and say, Jackie needs you to buy a book.
Smack them over the head with the book.
Yes, I will, with the signed book, so they'll have Jackie's name on it.
So now, Jackie, do people come up to you on the street and ask you to tell them a joke? I mean, what's your interaction like when you're out in public?
it's funny. You know, they don't usually come up and just say, "You tell me a joke." They usually wind up telling them a joke. But it's funny. I always tell people I can walk around New York City for a whole day and not have anybody say hello, and then I can walk out of my apartment and have 5 people in a row say, "Hey, joke man. Hey, Jackie. How you doing?" So my degree of whatever, you know, notoriety or fame is, it's a very weird one. I tell people, you know, the people that know me know me. You know, sometimes I see people looking at me and then they're not sure if it's me because, you know, I've been off the show a long time and I'm older, but I don't look that old, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's funny, sometimes people come up and say, "Are you Jackie Martling?" And I go, no, he's older and fatter. And I go, "Yeah, you're right." And then I don't know what to do.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I think a lot of people recognize you from the movie, too.
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah, that, you know, and they keep playing that movie endlessly.
I know.
So talk about that.
Hey, you know what? Once in a while you get lucky. I'm in a sitcom pilot called "Shoot Me Nicely."
Oh.
And the trailer is on the web at shootmenicely.com, and we're winning. It also works as a short movie. It's like a 20-minute movie, TV pilot, but it works as a short film, as a short comedy.
Right.
And we won in Germany, and we won in Sonoma, and Williamsburg, and Hollywood, and Austin. We're winning awards everywhere. It's definitely going to get picked up. But the guy's waiting for the perfect deal. And, you know, years ago I met this guy. He said, "Hey, someday I'm going to write a role for you." And sure enough, he wrote a role for me as the landlord in this. And it's a really fun show. And one of the stars of our show is Linda Hamilton.
Oh, my God.
And out of a clear blue sky a week ago, they announced that Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Cameron are making a sequel to The Terminator.
No.
How great is that for our show?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What are the odds of that? If anybody ever asked Linda if she was going to be getting back together and making a movie with James Cameron, she would have said, "You're crazy."
I know.
But he's praising her up and down, and she always wanted to do comedy, so she is so thrilled to be in our show. So it's not like she's going to jump off the show. So that's just the greatest thing in the world. Maybe James Cameron will wind up being the executive producer. You know, we're off to the races.
Maybe you'll be the new Terminator. Jackie. So do you like being on camera? Because, you know, because the comedy world is different from like the acting. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm not a comedian, but
it's so different. But I'll tell you that. You know, it's comedy. You know, you're in comedy, you wind up meeting all the same people. Same thing with the acting world. If you're in the independent film world, or, you know, of independent movies and TV pilots and everything, you know, wherever you go for a shoot, it's a lot of the same people. Like for 10 years, I went to the Cannes Film Festival every year, and went to Sundance, and went to Toronto, and it's always the same gang of people, and it's so much fun, and, you know. I mean, not all the same, but there's so much crossover, and you start seeing familiar faces, and, you know, you get on the plane and go, "Oh, there's that guy, oh, there's that guy, oh, there's Jackie," you know. It's a small little world, and it's so much fun, really fun, you know. I've done a lot of little movies. You know, I was in The Aristocrats, which was a huge documentary.
Yep.
It did great. And, I had a small role in one of the episodes of Leverage. And they just play that show all over the world. I get checks every 5 minutes. People love that show, you know.
See, that's what I want.
So it's a fun little game we're in, you know.
You know what? Because I'm, you know, I do theater. Danny does theater. I'm just getting into. I just did background work on a series, which is why I'm in Ridgewood tonight. And you're right. You see the same people.
Small world.
It's small and big at the same time. Yes. It's crazy.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you. Have you ever heard of a show on Showtime called The Affair?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you go to season 3, you know, it's in on demand. If you go to season 3, episode 4, there's a whole huge kid's birthday party, and it's my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, The Affair filmed here for a couple weeks, and it was really great. I made a lot of money, and it's just really, really fun, and it's like you're seeing a film of one of my parties, except it's none of the people that I know. It's really funny. They're all drinking and eating and hanging out and having pony rides and running all around the house. It's just not me and my friends.
Right.
It's so weird.
Oh, that is that's funny. No, but you have a great house because I've been, following you on social media. But you do throw parties, right? You're known to have these.
Oh yeah, I've lived here in Bayville my entire, since 1975, and it's, now I live right on the water, and it's just, I got a beautiful girlfriend and 2 stupid cats, and it's a pretty nice life. I got an apartment in the city, so I'm back and forth to the city a lot because now I'm promoting the book, and and I'm always doing stuff here and there, and
So wait, how does one get invited to these parties, Jackie?
Yeah, right.
All you got to do is come up to me Saturday night and flirt with me a little. Well, that's all you got to do.
I'm there.
She's gonna do it. Don't worry.
All right, a wink and a nod.
A wink and a
No,
nod.
and I'm always in Pennsylvania, so I'll run into you guys. I'm sure. Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I'm always. Once you get to know me, then I'm like, hey, I'm coming your way. Come to a show.
For sure.
Well, we would love to have you in the studio. I think that would be
if you ever
I don't even know where the hell. Once I drive to the place on Saturday, then I'll have an idea where you guys are.
It's a cute
But
town.
I would love to come and sit in on the show one day.
Oh, I would love to we would have so much fun. We would have so much fun with you here.
I gotta say though, I just downloaded Audible, and just hearing you talk about your book makes me want to download it just to hear you read your book.
I know. I almost feel like I don't want to read it myself. I want to hear you read the book.
Right. Just your energy is just.
What's really great, and I don't know whether it's great or not. You have to read the book. You can't, embellish or say anything. It's word for word what's in front of you, which is a good thing because every single sentence makes me think of 5 other people and 5 other stories, and I would have never got through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I'm going to do for Audible, I got so many more stories. I'm going to do extra stories that they can put as a, extra added attraction if you buy 2 or whatever, however it works.
Yeah. Listen, how do you remember everything? I feel like I can't even remember anything that I did in college. My girlfriend's like, my best friend, she's like, remember this? I go, no, but I guess that was a lot of fun.
Right.
I have no memory. So you have this incredibly huge life, and you remember everything, and you're able to write it down and share it.
Well, so many people like, who wrote the book or who helped you? And, I wrote every letter, word, syllable, 2 things. I wrote the entire thing unaided at all, and it's also every single word in the book is true. There is no, there's no exaggeration. There's no added stuff just to give it a little jazz, So I'm not saying there's not stuff in it that's not believable. I'm just saying that it's all true.
It's all.
And there's so much stuff that ain't in there yet. Volume 2 is ready to go. Just when you see the pictures, you're going to get excited. You're going to have fun.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners again where they can go to get all the information.
If you go to JackieTheJokeman.com, Jackie the Jokeman, one word, JackieTheJokeman.com, the Amazon page pops right up. It'll be delivered. They'll be shipping on October 24th, and it's available on Kindle, and it's available as an audio book. Artie Lang wrote the foreword and also recorded the foreword for the audio book. So it's a whole nice package. There's like 20 pages of pictures of, me with the, Willie Nelson and Les Paul and, and pole vaulting and gymnastics. I've had a silly life, and a lot of it made it to the page,
And just looking at your website as well and your upcoming events, everybody can go order the book, get it by the end of October, and then go and see you in November because you have all these dates coming up in November as well.
Book signings.
Get that book signed, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Thanksgiving week, that Saturday night, people usually eat turkey on Thursday and hang out with the family on Friday. By Saturday night, people are ready to get the hell out of the house. And I'm in New Hope, Pennsylvania, Saturday, November 25th. So I'm hoping that'll be packed out. I'm at the Rares Room in New Hope. And it's a little room, and it's a really tight, great room. And that should be a hoot, too. And everybody says this theater this Saturday is a lot of fun. I've never been to.
I'll tell you, it's a cool space, Jackie. It's the only theater left where when you walk in the theater, you walk in under the stage. So you're walking into the theater and then you turn around and then the stage is behind you. It was like an old vaudeville house. I know.
I love that. I love that feel. You know, that's the greatest. You know, I'm an old fan of early show business and the Marx Brothers and Burns and Allen, and you know, I love all that crazy history, you know.
So would you say like those are some of your early influences, that, you know, the Marx Brothers, maybe the Three Stooges? Like,
well, I love the Marx Brothers, but I'm a joke teller, so I always loved Henny Youngman, and I was such a big fan of Rodney. And then I wound up, you know, sending him some jokes in the mail, and he called me up, and that was so wild.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the greatest stories in the book, is how me and Rodney wound up hanging out together. And, you know, and that was really, really crazy.
You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but so when you first start out and, you know, you're sending your jokes out, and like you said, Rodney Dangerfield is calling you, you know, because I was excited about today, and I was like nervous, and, you know, you're a human being, but you have, you know, a huge following. So when you were just starting out and you're sending stuff, you know, to Rodney, what was that like when Rodney is calling you? Were you like, oh my God?
What it was I told jokes my whole life, and I'd always collected them. And then when I found out that a friend knew him, I took a bunch of the stuff. What I do on stage is I tell old jokes, and it's really funny because in the world of comedy, there's two laws. The two things you do not do is you don't tell old jokes, and you don't laugh at yourself.
Right.
And that's all I do. all I do is the two things you're not supposed to do. I tell old jokes and I laugh at them, which are two complete no-nos. But what I do is organic. I didn't decide to go become a comedian and say, let me find a nice short route, let me tell jokes. I had been telling jokes my entire life. They're as much a part of me as my arms.
Yeah.
And then I just started doing what I've been doing my entire life on stage. So, and you can feel that, you know. And then I just took some jokes that I've been telling forever and switched them around and sent them to Rodney Dangerfield. You know, it wasn't a calculated thing. It's just all of a sudden I saw daylight. A friend said, "Hey, I know Rodney Dangerfield," and I said, "Well, let me jump through that window," you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's just same thing with Howard. You know, people are going to be amazed when they see, you know, well, so many people are like, oh, you're so lucky you met Howard Stern and blah blah blah. When you read about it, you'll see that I was very lucky, but I was only lucky because I was teed up.
Right.
You know, we all know that. You know, there's so many stories about you. You just got to be persistent and keep going and going and going. You know?
It's the hustle.
Right.
It's the hustle.
Right.
It's, you know.
And I was going to say, it's just incredible hearing how persistent and how dedicated you were to your work.
And still are.
And still are.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what? People say, you know, are you ever going to retire? And I'm like, that's so funny. Because, you know, George Burns always said he retired when he was 15 years old and started doing show business. You know, if I stopped doing what I'm doing and I was just going to just do something else, you know what I'd do? I'd say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go do some comedy shows. Right. I mean, that's what I do. You know, it's funny. I tell everybody I'm 70 years old, but I'm not. I'm 69. But every time you say you're 69, you have to explain to people that you're not making a sex joke. So now I just merely say I'm 70. But, you know, I'm never going to stop doing. I'm going to do this until I fall down. You know, Woody Woodbury's 93 years old. You know, he had Who Do You Trust in the 50s before Johnny Carson. Yeah. He's still out doing shows at 93. You know, he's been a friend of mine for 4 decades. He's just... You know, that's what he does. That's what he lives for, you know.
So what advice do you have for somebody that's interested in doing comedy or you know, an up-and-coming comic?
Yeah. That's so funny because that's one of the that is one of the greatest stories in the book. There's a story about me and Jimmy Fallon in the book that's so great, and I'm not going to give it away.
You should have. Go get that book.
People, you know, when you start getting famous, people start asking you the same questions over and over. Right. So you wind up, you have an almost automatic reply to some of them because they're frequently asked questions. And that's one of the questions is, you know, I want to be a comedian. What should I do?
Right.
And I'm not going to tell you what I say, but it's in the book, and it's so funny, and it's funny enough that it's not worth giving it away. You know,
don't give it away.
But I will say it's a tough route, man, and you gotta really. It's like acting. Yeah. You know, you guys are in show business, you know, or at least I don't know to what degree you are, but you know that it's heartbreak It's 99% heartbreak and 1% hope.
Absolutely.
And then a little bit of the hope, sometimes it springs eternal, you know. And if you're ready for that, then you're ready. You know what I mean?
No, it's the truth.
You know, it's like when you can't become a football player and say, "Geez, I hope nobody bumps into me."
Right.
That's kind of funny. I just thought.
Yeah,
Hey,
write that
good,
down.
right?
That's going to go in the next book.
You know what? I came
that.
up with a joke to summarize the situation in the country.
Oh, I want to. Can you tell us?
If you want to summarize the situation in the country, is Trump doesn't want anybody on the knees, and Harvey Weinstein wants everybody on the knees.
Yeah, how about that?
How great is that? That's the greatest joke I ever
That was
wrote.
good. That was
Are you
good.
going to do that Saturday night? You got to do that.
No, I don't know. Maybe
You know, you'll see
maybe
what
I'll
happens.
open with that.
So
you know.
wait, so when you walk out on the stage, is it just like, you know, do you just go out, feel the crowd, and you're just kind of...
No, I know exactly what
You
I'm
know
going to do.
exactly
I have an act. I know exactly what jokes I'm going to tell, but then I can veer off the path at any point. I don't have to do my act, but I have a set act if I just want to go up and do that.
Oh, that's great. Now,
Are you going to come up and introduce me, Laura?
I have to ask Tom. I'll be like, hey, because I know the guy that owns the theater. Maybe.
No, just wear something sexy and come up and say something nice about me.
Listen, I always do.
Listen, Jackie, she's gonna be wearing something sexy. You're gonna want to take your photo with her.
Ah, good. I promise.
So I know that you have to go, but what is your opinion? Or, you know, there's a lot of new comics coming up, different styles. You know
what? I tell everybody the same thing. I pay no attention.
Yeah, you just.
I don't know. All I know is that comedy is very hard.
Yeah, it is.
And I have the full respect of anybody that's doing it or tries to do it. You know, and everybody's good. You know what I mean? Like I don't watch comedy. I don't hardly watch. You know, I watch a few TV shows. You know, I watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love that. But this new show out called The Deuce, I love.
Oh my God,
you know,
that
and,
show is freaking
absolutely.
awesome. We love it too. That is a great show.
Oh yeah, you know, I went to the premiere because my friend Don is the cop. That's he's the driver. He's the low life cop. That's the driver.
Oh, yep, okay.
That hit on the girl and
Yep.
then and she blew him away for James Franco, which I
Yep.
could understand. But I was sitting with Don at the premiere. Don Harvey, he's a great actor, real good guy. And my friend Lou Martini Jr. is in it too. He's the bar owner that the bar that Franco quit. You know, and and the guy Michael Rispoli is I'm so connected to all these guys. Michael Rispoli was tending bar around the corner from my apartment when I first got my apartment, and he's the big mobster with the cigar.
Okay.
You know, that's setting them up in the massage parlors. So it's really fun. I know all these characters, so I really get
You should be in
kick out of
it.
these shows, you know.
They got to put you in that.
I'm trying. You know, it's funny. We just did a short. This is kind of dirty, but we did a short called Saint Joseph, and I'm not Italian, but I guess that a lot of Italians or maybe Catholics more than Italians.
Oh yeah,
there's an old
definitely.
thing that if you're going to sell your house,
Yes,
bury a statue of Saint Joseph in your yard, and
Upside
it helps
down.
you sell your house quicker. Now, I've never heard of that before.
Upside down, Jackie. You got to bury it upside down.
Lauren's our
So you've heard of this?
Oh, I'm Italian.
Oh, all right. Well, this is a whole show about it. And, I mean, it's a short film. It's very funny. This beautiful girl, Katharina Micchio, wrote it. She's been around forever. She's an actress and a producer and a makeup artist. And she wrote this thing, and I'm in it. And it's very weird with some goofy religious overtones. And I play a clown, but my name is Judas.
Oh.
And I'm wearing a flower. You know, a flower that's got water hooked up to it, you know, like a clown.
Yep.
And I'm there, and I want to buy the house, and then a convertible pulls up with Vinny Pastore in it.
Okay, yeah.
And Vinny Pastore comes up, walking up, and says, "Hey, I'm going to buy this house." And I'm like, "Hey, you're that guy from TV." He goes, "Yeah, I did some things." I said, "Yeah, you were on TV a long time ago." And he sees the flower and says, "What are you, some kind of clown?" I say, "As a matter of fact, I am." And I squeeze the ball 15 times, and just the flower just kept squirting Vinny in the face. And it was so funny. And I told them, you should just take a clip of me, shooting the water into Vinny and just name the clip Squirting Pussy.
Oh, yeah!
And it'd be so hysterical. It really is, it's not dirty. It just sounds dirty, but,
Right. Oh, I love it.
Oh, God, it's so great.
Hey,
I've known Vinny for like 40 years.
That's
30
so
years.
funny.
Listen, you're a smart man. You know how many people are going to want to look at a video called Squirting Pussy? Come on.
Seriously. It's like Two Girls in a Cup, but funnier and less messy. No, you know what's so funny? Because I think of that scene in Private Parts with the Pussy Willow. It's that word can be taken in so many different... It's just one of those words. I think that's great. They can make a GIF.
Yes.
A GIF of him of Vinny Pastore getting squirted. I love that. So do you think your head just must always think in jokes? Are you always thinking of that next joke when in any situation you're in?
This stuff just rolls through your head. I drive along with my girlfriend, and every time she opens her mouth, that makes me think of a joke. So, we only been going out for 2.5 years, so I haven't hit reruns yet. But once we start on reruns, I'm gonna watch her. She's gonna be opening the door at 70 miles an hour and kicking me out.
Oh, no. Oh, I can't wait to meet you on Saturday. I'm so excited. So if you go to the website is jokeland.com.
Yeah, jokeland.com is my website. But if you want to order the book, that's the most important. It's JackieTheJokeman.com. Of course, jokeland.com has a link to it, too.
Right.
You walk down the street, you'll see a way to buy the book. I got this covered,
I know, you do. You are very, with the social media.
Yeah.
You are, because I was tagging you all over the place. You are out there. You are not afraid. You can't be afraid.
My plan is to get good and rich before I die.
Yeah, I don't blame you. From me too. Take me with you, Jackie. Take me with you.
I think you need to
write
a book about your plan.
I tweet a joke every day at 4:20. Just go to @JackieMartling on Twitter and dial 516-922-WINE for dirty jokes, and go to jokeland.com, and I will see you guys Saturday night.
Yes.
You should introduce me and come up and tell a nice dirty joke and wear something sexy, and we'll take some pictures.
Let's do it. I'm there, Jackie. So
I hope you guys are happy. This was a fun interview. I appreciate it.
This was great. And I recorded it, and then I will put it on our Mixcloud page, and you'll have it forever and ever and ever. It's never going away.
Do me a favor. When we hang up, take a picture of the two of you guys together. Take a selfie and send it to me.
I will. Yeah, I will.
Absolutely.
When we
and then I can tell. You got to tell me what to post to tell people to go listen to this.
I will. I will
amazing.
do that tonight because I have this red carpet thing, and then tonight I will do that. But I am psyched to meet you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. You are a lot of fun. I think we're going to be hanging out a little bit.
I'll tell you what you do.
What? Tell me.
You guys record a selfie. As we're sitting here, I'm going to take a picture of myself on the phone.
Okay. Take a selfie of us. All right. So Danny's going to take a selfie now. God, the modern technology. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to take a selfie.
You're not even going to put it on video. There it is.
Okay.
All right, I'm on the phone with you guys right now, and as I talk, I am shooting some video.
Cool.
I don't look very good. Jesus Christmas. But
nah, you look.
I'll see you Saturday night. Thank you very much.
All right, we're doing
Thank you. We're doing our selfie, and we're recording it, and we're gonna tag the shit out of you, and I'll see you Saturday night, and I'll be looking sexy. Don't you worry.
Thanks.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
That was
Oh my
so
gosh.
much fun.
He's just amazing.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God, I love that energy.
Clearly you could tell why he has had such a great career, because he knows how to hustle it, and that's a word.
And that's what we always talk about.
We talk about hustling it.
All right, I'm sorry. This mic is like dripping, dropping down.
It's flaccid again.
It is flaccid.
But he knows how to work it, and he works hard, and it's not. And I love what he said. It's 99% heartbreak and 1% of hope.
You know, and that's true, because
it's so true.
That's what I was trying to tell my students. It's like you got to get used to the disappointment, because unfortunately, in our business of show, it is mostly disappointment. It really is. Not that you something won't happen for you. But you have to be able to roll with the punches and take the good with the bad. like Tiger Woods' father always said, you're never as good as they say you are, but you're also never as bad. Can you set this up for me?
Absolutely, yep.
So we're going to go live quickly to kind of wind down our show. If you're just tuning in, sorry, you missed our awesome interview with... sorry, guys.
All right. Okay, we are back. We're live on Facebook.
Live on Facebook, live on the air. If you are just tuning in, you just missed us talking to the amazing Jackie the Joke Man Martling. So much fun. What a great interview.
Awesome. We got to get him in here.
Oh, my God. I'm like, you're coming in here. I'm going to drag him here Saturday night.
He mentioned how he has this audio version of his book, and just hearing him talk
I know.
and his energy, I'm like... I want to hear the book. I
almost want to do the audio,
book, you know?
But I'm definitely going to buy it.
But absolutely, yeah.
And just so much fun. And you know what? There's this great Elvis Costello quote. I use it all the time. He goes, basically, I've wound up with a life where I can do whatever the fuck I want. And that's what Jackie's doing. That's what I'm hoping to do. I think that's everyone's goal. But you got to manifest it. There's no such thing as luck. You got to make it happen. So that was fun.
Yeah. So I just want to remind people to go to jokeland.com is this website that has his upcoming events and book signings as well. And if you go to JackieTheJokeman.com, you get a direct link to Amazon for the book. And I was checking, it's like $17.
I know, that's
which
like
is cheap.
Nothing.
It's hardcover.
Yeah, you said hardcover
or you can get it on Kindle or Audible. So
and I love his idea that you can tell, for like a holiday gift. What a great, because people are always like, I'm looking for a book to read.
He's going to be in Ridgewood at Bookends bookstore doing signings. And I'm like, get the book, order it now, get it in time, go to the book signing.
Yeah.
A great gift for yourself. And
yeah,
for anybody,
treat yourself.
Really.
I mean, really.
I think it's just really, really cool. So what are you going to wear?
I don't know. Now I'm feeling like I gotta look sexy. I gotta bring the sexy. I have some things I can wear.
Do it, Lauren. You gotta look good for us.
I know. I gotta represent. I'm representing chewing. He just sent me. He just sent me a text and really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. See you Saturday.
Awesome.
We do. I love when we do. I love having interviews. We actually have, which Danny is just going to find out right now. November 2nd, Sal Valentinetti is going to be calling in again.
Oh.
Yes. I'm going to send you those pictures in 2 seconds, Jackie.
I just sent her the photos, so.
I got to send it. That made no sense. I got to send it. So.
I'm like, you can't because you're
I know, I'm live.
It'll be in a couple minutes.
So I talked to, I had a long conversation with Sal's manager yesterday on the phone. And, Sal's been busy. He's been all over the place. So he's coming to MPAC on November 30th. So November 2nd, he's going to be calling in for an interview again. And he's a fun interview. I tried to work the angle of getting him into the studio, but he lives in Long Island as well. Okay. So it's a little crazy.
Probably would have to be the day of the show.
Yeah, if we had to do that. So, and we kind of wanted to get that done
Which
beforehand.
Is a Thursday, November 30th.
I know. I could work it. I mean, I'll try, but definitely November 2nd. We have on...
We'll ask him on the air on November 2nd.
I would be like, Sal, come on, please.
Come on.
He's a doll.
Meet you in person.
He's like old blue eyes. He's like young blue eyes.
We're even better in person.
Yeah, he's like young blue eyes. He has these gorgeous blue eyes. He sings like Frank Sinatra. So we have that, and then we have October 26th. We have the 2 female candidates for alderman in town are coming in.
Nice.
Tamara and Adina, and they're the only 2 women that are running for each ward. So that's exciting.
I love when we were talking to Mayor Matt.
I have to get that link up. I have not forgotten. I have to do that tonight too.
About the aldermen.
Yeah.
And how he explained how, because this is a borough.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And so in boroughs, they're aldermen, right?
Yes.
That was the whole thing. Because I'm used to councilmen, councilwoman, council. Mm-hmm. What's the council person?
Councilwoman. Yeah, councilman and councilwoman. That's what it's
called. Kind of like
alderman.
Like, why isn't it just alder...
I guess alderwomen. I think we've always had men, so they're the only. Oh no, I think there was one woman that's been on for a little while, but they're the only 2 running.
Nice.
And Tamara's actually.
Would
in
you
my
ever
ward.
run for something like that?
You know what?
In your ward?
I have too many skeletons. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. You know what? No.
I mean,
it's not my
even
thing.
Even if you did, it's not like you're not. Do you think they'd come out, your skeletons?
No, I'm kidding. I mean, no. I mean, we all have skeletons, but no, I just don't think it's my thing. I think I get really annoyed with politics.
So
like when I'm on the board of stuff. Yeah, I just am
listen.
I'm like, just the fact, because you know what, I think sometimes what happens with sometimes people say it's not personal. It is personal. How can politics not be personal? And then the personal gets mixed with the professional, I don't know. There's always such a I don't know. I feel like there's like it's imbalanced.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like there's sometimes the professional gets overtaken by the personal feelings, and I don't know. And then I don't like people, and so no, I would not vote.
You wouldn't vote?
No, I mean, I vote. I wouldn't run. I wouldn't run. I do.
Don't
vote.
say that. That's
I do vote. I do vote. So what time is it?
Ow! I just hit my.
We got
2:21. So we have a couple minutes.
We have a couple minutes. So seminar opens Friday at the Women's Theater, womenstheater.org. Get your tickets. Great show. Beauty and the Beast continues to run.
Through October 29th. Go to growingstage.com for all that information.
And we, go to New Jersey Arts Ticks. You can get all the discounted tickets for all the presenting houses and producing houses in New Jersey. You can go to NJ Theater Alliance, spelled RE.org. Find out what's playing professionally throughout New Jersey. All these seasons we've had so many opening nights.
Yeah, October's nuts.
October is crazy with openings.
I enjoy that the Theater Alliance does that curtain up.
I love that curtain up.
Really
thank you, New Jersey Theater Alliance. Yay.
So, speaking of New Jersey Theater Alliance, they have their curtain call.
I know. You're going. I'm going.
Yeah.
Jim Walton is hosting.
I don't know Jim Walton.
I just looked him up, and I was, but Jersey guy.
He's performed many times at Paper Mill and also George Street Playhouse.
So it's going to be a lot of fun night. So I'm excited. And
I know. We get to do it together.
I know.
We'll have to do a video.
We'll have to do a red carpet video, and we'll have to do a picture from the Step Repeat.
We'll do a picture from the Step Repeat.
Yes,
we'll do a red carpet video. We'll do a sneaky chewing the scenery. Coming to you live from the Governor Morris Weston in Morristown.
Yes, I love that place. So I'm excited
awesome.
about.
So I'm excited about that. What else do you got going on this month?
I have just the web series that drops on Friday. What else do I have? I have Producers opens up in a month, so we've been.
So you're rehearsing. You've been rehearsing.
I've been rehearsing for the Producers, and I'm doing it a little abstract. I know it's crazy. My image is a little crazy, but it's a little audience participate. Ooh. It's just like a little immersive with the audience.
Why not?
Why not, right? So I'm excited about that. And just, the interviews coming up, doing the mom thing. I'm trying to think what else I have
doing the mom thing.
Yeah, some photo shoots coming up.
So speaking of the mom thing, do you guys do like farm stuff, or are your kids like...
At school they do. Like each classroom has a because our school is green. They go to the community farm. There's a club.
Like pumpkin picking.
Oh, that stuff. Yes. Stuff. Oh no, yeah, totally. Yeah. We do that. My house is all like Halloweened out.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm
not always a slacker mom.
Are you
just
going to dress up for Halloween?
I am. I know I want to be. Last year I was Hercules, Mulligan, and Star.
Oh, that's right.
I was Star from Lost Boys. I like to be obscure things that no one knows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do. That people are like, who is she? I'm trying to get my son to be.
I remember. I was like, I don't know.
You're like, I don't know.
It's Mulligan.
And then I was like, I'm Jamie Gertz, guys. I'm Jamie Gertz from Lost Boys.
Gertz.
Yes, that's what I was. So I don't know what I want to be, but I always get like a little dressed up.
Yeah.
A little something, something.
Yeah, I'm dressing up. It's a surprise.
Ooh.
I think I told you, but I don't want to.
We don't want to tell you.
I won't tell you yet.
We don't want to tell you.
Because it's also with my dog and we're going together or something.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Anyway, we're going to beat feet because I'm going to go get my kids and not rush to get them because I have this thing tonight.
Go to facebook.com/chewing the scenery.
Please just like our damn page and share it.
Like our fucking page already.
No, we know. We love you. We love you. It's okay. Sorry we love you guys because, we're yelling at the people that totally support us. But we love you.
I like to curse sometimes.
I know. Sometimes want to just throw out a good F-bomb. A good No, I'm kidding. Watch
Nicole
watch that be what is like on the.
Nicole just liked. Oh, wait.
This is going to be.
I'm not giving you.
We're not giving you the finger, by the way. We're not giving our two watchers the finger.
Nicole just liked it because she's got a potty mouth.
I do. I have to tell you, I swear like a sailor.
She is a sailor. She's got a boat at home. And she just curses.
The love at home.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Chewing the scenery. Peace out. Love ya.
Oh, wait, I got to do it. I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, is he gonna...
I almost did this.
That's so funny. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Jackie.
We're still on the
air. Thank you, Jackie. DJ Easy Wind is up next. And
go to JackieTheJokeMan.com
and
for
go
all
to
that
the
information.
And go to the show Saturday night. And I'm going to send Jackie some pictures, some photos, baby.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out. Thanks, guys.